princesses! Today I'm going to be talking about the Beyond Alice in Wonderland Glow Cream Shadows. These shadows were kindly sent to me for review by Korean Kiwi Beauty, and Korean Kiwi Beauty is my favourite K-beauty store in New Zealand. And I shopped with them long before I was sent these for review, so I'm not paid for my opinion. They literally sent me these products in exchange for a review. So the product description says, Glow Cream Eyeshadow with Pearl Glow for Shimmery Eyes. Contains royal black tea essence and diamond powder for long-lasting eye makeup. The packaging of these shadows is so cute. They all have the same picture of Alice on the front. There is a little cap inside the shadow casing. This keeps the shadow pans from actually crumbling and falling out of the case, so it's important that you keep them. There are 10 shades in the collection, and it contains both neutral shades as well as some brighter and more unusual colours. In general, these shades are either very sheer and glittery or very pigmented. When you press your finger into the pans, they feel so soft and jelly-like, and when you swatch them, they feel smooth and buttery. Despite the amount of glitter and shimmer in the formula, they don't feel gritty to use. These all have fairly good longevity on my oily lids. They do crease after 6 hours wear for me, but so does literally any other shadow. I didn't notice any difference in longevity when using a makeup primer or not. The first shade is Sugar Snow, which is a sheer white shadow with iridescent pink glitter. This is the sheerest shade out of the 10, and it looks beautiful on its own, or used as a pop of shimmer over the centre of the lid. Orange Blast is a beautiful gold shadow with orange shimmer. This shadow is the driest out of the 10 shades, and it is the easiest to apply and blend since it is a shimmer rather than a glitter. There isn't nearly as much fallout as the other shades. Grapefruit Squeeze is one of my favourite shades of the collection. It's a beautiful sheer rose shadow with gold glitter, and I absolutely love it. I usually just wear this on its own since it's very bright and fresh, and I think it looks lovely. Rosy Cupcake is a bright red shade with gold glitter. This shade is very out of my comfort zone and definitely not something that I would wear regularly, but it is really beautiful. This shade is really pigmented, so it is a little bit more obvious when I don't blend it as well as I should. Almond Crumble is a bronze shade with gold glitter. This is one of the beautiful neutral shades, and it's easy to use on its own or in combination with other shades. It also works beautifully to highlight the centre of my lid for a beautiful shimmer. Apple Pie is a khaki green shade with gold glitter. This shade was surprisingly wearable for me. With many of the more pigmented shades, I find that the best application method is to apply the colour with my fingers and then blend out the harsh lines with a clean brush. This way you get the most glitter, since the brushes do tend to sweep the glitter off. Choco Fudge is a delicious chocolate brown shade with gold glitter. I really hate the abbreviation Choco or Choc for some reason, it just really frustrates me. However, I do really like this shade and it is my second favourite right after Grapefruit Squeeze. This is a great shade to be worn on its own, it's a great neutral and it works really well with many other eyeshadows too. Signature Alice is a bright icy blue with silver shimmer. This is another shade that is way out of my comfort zone. It very much reminds me of Elsa from Frozen too. I found that the formula of the shadow was slightly patchy. I did really have to work at building it up evenly so that there weren't any missing patches. I'm not certain that I personally would ever wear this shadow, but it is beautiful. Blueberry Ballin is a sheer lavender shade with silver shimmer. I'm not quite sure about the name of this shade, but it is really pretty and strangely wearable. It's definitely not an everyday shade, but it does look nice against brown eyes. The final shade is Blackberry Brownie, which is a charcoal grey with silver shimmer. This is the hardest to apply nicely as it is the darkest. In general, I do find this shadow slightly difficult to blend since the cream-like formula doesn't seem to mesh well with brushes. And with the darker shades, my chubby fingers find it a little bit difficult not to go too far and make myself look like I'm attempting drag makeup. However, this shade is actually pretty good to use as a base for a smoky eye and it can be really pretty. When I look at all of the shadows together, I can clearly see a difference between the pigmented shades and the sheer shades. So I love that they are averagely priced at 15 New Zealand dollars each. They have super cute packaging and a really beautiful colour range. There is a great mix of highly pigmented and sheer shades. They apply beautifully with fingers, and they have fairly good longevity on slightly oily eyelids. I don't love that the shadow pans do fall out if you don't use the little plastic covers, and they can be kind of hard to blend with brushes. So there are a few shades in this collection that I know that I will get a lot of use out of, but there are also a few that I don't think I'll ever wear. I do love that there is a broad colour range, even though a lot of the shades I personally won't have very much use for. I know that a lot of other princesses would love using them. And I think it's really fun to have some bright interesting colours in there since there are about a million neutral palettes that you can get, and I know for myself I already have a bunch of neutral palettes, so it is nice to have something different. I found that I preferred to apply these with my fingers rather than brushes, though I do use brushes to get rid of any harsh lines around the outside of my eye. I just found that the brushes didn't really pick up enough of the product because it is that soft jelly-like formula, and when I used the brushes on my eyelids they did tend to flick a lot of the glitter off, which created a bit more fallout than it would if I used my fingers. So for me personally, I think that my finger it works fine and I can use the brush if I need to. But I have to say that usually I have longer nails than this, so when I have long nails I am going to have trouble actually getting my finger into the pot, so I can see that being slightly problematic in the future, or if you have long extensions it's going to be kind of hard for you to use these because it's hard to pick up the product with the brush. And my very last thought for these shadows is that I am never swatching 10 eyeshadows on my eyelids ever again, because when I take them off, of course there is glitter in the formula, and even though you don't feel the glitter when you put the eyeshadows on, definitely felt it when I was taking them off. I felt like I was scratching the tops of my eyelids off. It was horrible, and now my eyelids are really dry. So it's not that, you know, one use is fine, but doing all 10 of them is not something I would do again. And I feel really bad for anyone who actually did that full face of glitter challenge, because I cannot imagine trying to get that much glitter off your face. That would have been horrible. So I would recommend the Beyond Alice in Wonderland Glow Cream Shadows to any princesses who are looking for eyeshadows with super cute packaging, a range of sheer and pigmented shades, and a broad colour range. Thank you so much for watching this review, and I'll see you next time.